You know what that means? Thank God it's Friday, and at least thank God some persons will at least rest after today. Well, I know who is going to be resting, but if you want to rest, say I. If you will be busy during the weekend, say nay. In Nigeria, their eyes have it. The eyes have it. The eyes have it. Okay, so it's Friday, the Friday edition of your favorite show, Matters on this Super Dial. On this mega dial, on this super mega dial, 90.3 FM. It is the voice of the people. So, where are you this afternoon? And what are you doing? It's Friday, you know, you're preparing for one party or the other. We're also preparing for ours here. Ours is tomorrow. The VOP people, right? The VOP family, all of the analysts. We're meeting here tomorrow by 4 p.m. Don't worry. You might still join the train. Welcome, friends. My name is Jude Ikami Jude. Check your time now. It's 10 minutes after 1 p.m. And today happens to be the 15th day in the month of December 2023. How do I put this now? We'll get there. Joining me this beautiful afternoon, this Friday afternoon, the open mic afternoon, is a doctor. Okay, he loves engaging in social matters, political matters. He is there's a name I want to call him. I am looking at it very well. If I drop this one, it's going to be well, this afternoon is dressed like a high chief who's just coming from who's just been able to lay a sacrificial lamb to rest. But a very beautiful welcome to Dr. Moses Adebayo. Welcome to
Thank you
Matters.
very much, Jude Ikami Jude. Please call me the high score to 4 or 3 over 10. Because I know hundreds of students are listening right now. They just love you pronounce your name. I'm serious. Really. Your name, as in they wonder, is that man from Mars or from Neptune? As in, he loves his name. Of course, who shouldn't like his name? Jude Ikami Jude. So good to meet your presence.
I think I would love to meet these people someday.
Really? You'll be glad to see them.
Yes, really. So welcome on board.
Thank you very much.
Welcome on board.
Privilege being in your presence, really.
Yeah, it's my my joy, pride, smile, love. I love you being around the studio.
Thank you.
Let me leave it there. Okay, for everyone who is joining us quickly right now, you can also connect with your friends, your loved ones, your family members, even your enemies. Just get everyone on board this afternoon, and let's do what we know how to do best to give you good information. Okay, this afternoon it's matters. We discuss all the matters here in Nigeria. Okay, and for those just arriving in Lagos, maybe for the very first time, welcome. My name is Jude, and this is VOP FM. Try and stay here with me, okay? As long as we be in Lagos, this is the best place to be. And I would always come here to do my thing every weekday between 1 and 3 p.m. So I'm here for you today. So just sit back, relax, and let's flow together. All right, there are two basic issues, two particular issues, two very, very tough issues here. It's the first one is about Nnamdi Kanu. You know, the news we had. You know, what is coming to us is, some persons will say, is really not good. It's not good news. You know, how can now? Why now? I know some persons are even weeping right now, like. So Christmas will just go like that. So 2023 will just go like that, and this man will still remain there. And then some persons are like, well, let's just keep all hopes alive and let's see how it goes. What can we say? I mean, it's government, it's the court. We have to follow due process. Okay. And for some, no, it can't happen. No, it should have been released and all of that. But whatever it is, we'll talk about that this afternoon. And Fubara. Fubara. Okay, we'll get to. I'll take you to Port Harcourt today, and then we'll talk about these two issues. And don't forget, it is the open mic today. The open mic is that particular episode where you get to speak your mind, all of your questions, all of your query, all of your comments, all of your observations from Tuesday. I'll gather all of them today and put them together. All of those calls I couldn't take, I'll take them today. I'll try and take all of the calls today, all of your questions. So just bring them in, okay? And feel free to join the conversation on YouTube. We're streaming live on all of our social media platforms. Also, that is at YouTube VOP 90.3 FM, or in full Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Let's get talking right about now. The Supreme Court has refused to order the release of the embattled leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. I'm talking about Nnamdi Kanu, from detention. I hope you know. If you don't know that right now. Also know that the panel of justices of the court today nullified the earlier order of the Court of Appeal in Abuja, which ordered Kanu's release on bail. In a judgment written by Justice Garba Lawal and read by Justice Emmanuel Agim, the Apex Court voided and set aside the judgment of the Court of Appeal, which in October last year ordered the release of Kanu and also quashed the terrorism charges against him. The Supreme Court held that the Nigerian government's recklessness and unlawful rendition of Kanu from Kenya has not divested any court from proceeding with the trial. The basic thing is his release. His release. I mean, he wasn't like some prayed that he will be released today. Yeah. At the end of the day, he wasn't released. How is this getting to you? What do you think? How would you analyze this? How would you place this? Is it like some hopes are dashed? And let me hear from you.
Anyway, the judgment or the verdict of the Supreme Court today, which always appear to be final, sends waves across board. Different folks, different strokes for different folks, as Osondu will say. Osundi Owendi, I'm talking of Osadebe now. But if I will summarize all that the Supreme Court just gave as a verdict, it's like sooner than we can imagine there will be a solution, because they actually reassigned the case to the High Court. That was the verdict. They scolded the government, as in the extraordinary rendition that brought him back to Nigeria was frowned at, and severely so, by the Supreme Court. That was illegal, that was immoral, as they posited, and that Nnamdi can sue in the civil manner at the High Court. So they reassigned the case back to the High Court. But I suspect, because I've had to call one or two persons in Abuja, what's actually going on, that most likely a political solution is in the offing.
Really?
Yes, a political solution is in the offing. And don't be surprised that even before the end of the year, some strings will be pulled, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu may be let go. I'm saying this because I have had to deal with some of these my sources over the period of time, and they've always proven to be true from their grapevine sources. So from what the Supreme Court gave today, as I've said, they scolded the immediate past federal government by the way they brought him to Nigeria. They declared it as illegal, and that the IPOB leader can as well go back to the High Court and sue on a civil level. Now, that is what is not very clear, because he was actually brought into Nigeria on the account of treason, and treason is a criminal case in that sense against the state. But the Supreme Court now judged that he can go back to the High Court and sue on a civil platform. Now, who is he going to sue? They were not very clear on that. But because of this judgment of trying to be balanced, because I can as well summarize this judgment as a political one, even from the Supreme Court. So most likely a political solution is in the offing. So I will say to everyone listening, please watch that space. Watch that space. The president may come in, although he has his hands full now, when you go by what is going in Ondo State, River State. But when some well-meaning Igbo officials have appealed to him by way of the governors in the southeast, Peter Mbah, Charles Soludo and like, that can they have a political case? And is it not very significant that today one of the strongest voices in the southeast in the last 2 decades, I'm talking of the past governor of Anambra State, Chief Ezeife, passed on today at 85. So it's almost a case of, is there some destiny woven here? Today is the verdict from Supreme Court concerning Nnamdi Kanu and the highly respected former governor of Anambra State passed on. So again, I can almost go with what I've heard from my sources, that a political solution is in the offing. That I don't want to preempt, but I can say that a political solution is in the offing. You can see that even the Supreme Court has set the template. They gave the verdict that federal government, you were totally wrong the way you brought in this man. So this is, we will never support this. But then Nnamdi Kanu, you can go back to the High Court and sue on a civil platform. So it's a case of, they try to balance things out, and when the Supreme Court tries to balance things out, you can be rest assured that that verdict can be labeled a political one. So if they set the tone for a political solution by virtue of their political judgment, so don't be surprised that you may sooner than later, hear one or two things concerning his eventual emancipations. There may be some conditions. There may be, because what I heard from people I called, what's going on, that there may be conditions. Okay, some of the leaders that have appealed to the government, make it a Christmas gift for us, which is not out of place, but that Christmas gift, are you going to stand as guarantors? Are you going to stand as this or that? So, but most likely in the horizon, a political solution is in the offing. Take that from me.
Some will tell you that, you know, there's a best time, in quote, for something to happen. Now, people have been, you know, praying that Nnamdi Kanu be released today,
yeah,
before Christmas. And now the way the whole thing is playing out, now this whole thing might get to like next year.
Okay,
now that's one. Two, I remember Aloy Ejimako, Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, saying that it is not that Nnamdi Kanu is not supposed to be tried in any court in Nigeria, because I mean, it was supposed to be tried outside Nigeria. They had no right. I wanted to hear your comments as regards that.
Now, I want to answer this with fear and trembling, because when it comes to the legalese, I don't want to pretend as though I am an expert. I may know some peripheral things concerning legal aspect of knowledge, but I won't want to sound as one counsel. Democracy is pluralistic in the sense that it accommodates all shades of opinion. And if I go by the verdict of right from the appeal court, let this man go, let Nnamdi go, and what the Supreme Court came out with today, how that they frowned at how it was brought into Nigeria, then maybe Ejimako has a case indeed, because you can put it together. It's logical. If the Supreme Court that has the final verdict that cannot be appealed upon would agree that how you brought him to Nigeria was barbaric, it is not in tandem with modernity, with a republic, then that should tell you that they actually told the line of Ejimako, his counsel, that this man being brought in this manner was not right, and they won't condone anything that is, even if it's the executive arm of government that did such. So you can tell that since they've given such verdicts, what you did was not right, and it's, of course, when a judgment comes out like that, it's a deterrent. That means, for doing this, please don't ever bring anybody into Nigeria in this manner again. So that is the message they've passed across to even future executive arm of government at the federal level. You brought him in a way that was not legal, so please don't go through this route again. That's what they've said. And by so saying, they've only in a way validated what the Council of Nnamdi said. Whether it is now to be judged abroad or not, I can't tell. But what I know is that, as I've said, I still maintain, by way of today's verdict from the Supreme Court, very soon, sooner than you can imagine, it's just 10 days to Christmas. What if it's released on the 24th of December? And in politics, in state matters, 24 hours is a long time. Long time. With the stinging judgment of the Supreme Court on the federal government today, concerning how they brought in Nigeria, they will have a rethink. I won't be surprised if some very well respected Igbo leaders are in Abuja right now, and I won't be surprised. Though I just want to confirm certain things so that this medium where so many are listening right now, I can say that my undergraduate, postgraduate are even listening, and I know, having listened to you on occasions, people call from all over the world, so one has to be very circumspect in giving out any information as a fact. But I can tell that from snipers, from that some Igbo leaders are already within Abuja right now, and the sentiment of Paese Efe at 85 just transited, and all of this will come in, and for the sake of peace, in that sense, it may just get out of the gulag in no time. I can say that again.
Alo Ejimako said something today, this morning. He said that the judgment today was partly disappointing and partly satisfactory. They might want to help us understand why it is partly disappointing and partly satisfactory.
Partly disappointing because they expected a very lucid, unambiguous term, let him go. That's where the disappointment comes in. But partly satisfactory because the Supreme Court actually validated what he has always said. The way you brought in Nnamdi Kanu was not right. It's not becoming of a republic. We are not in the jungle. We are not in the Neanderthal age where you just go and bungle someone and bring to the country. So that is where the satisfactory angle came from. And by virtue of that, going by the other side, which is a bit disappointing because maybe they expected, that today it will be so clear, unequivocal that let him go. But if I will go a bit scriptural now, it took about 10 plagues for Pharaoh to let Israel go. Upon all that Moses did, the rod of Moses becoming a snake, replicated by the magicians of Egypt, swallowed their snake, turned this to that. He kept having victory after victory, but Pharaoh did not budge. But until the very last one that had all the firstborn of the king, to the maid, to the animals killed, he knew that some strong hand. So if I will use that as an analogy, I can sense again that MNK, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, may just be very close to freedom that will have conditions attached to them. And I want that to happen because the Southeast, which is a hub there when it comes to business, I keep saying if some regions get it right, Nigeria will surely get it in a certain aspect. I was on the station about that was 2 days ago, how that when Dr. Alex Oti, the current governor of Abia State, read the budget, he made particular reference to the area market, that if we develop this area alone, we know what we will bring into Imo State in terms of revenue generation and Nigeria as a whole. So, and this is a region that over time has not enjoyed the best of security, peace, and where there is no peace, business cannot thrive. Business will not thrive in an atmosphere of chaos, of war. So if this will mean that, okay, let him go, which is very close, as I can still say, then it brings about peace and life will be restored to the Southeast. If there is a region I've admired over the years, I think the Southeast, besides their industry, trade and industry capacity, even cerebral wise, they are never found wanting. You can go as far back as the Chino Achebes of this world, and even the generation of Chimamanda Adichie. These are people that have contributed to human development in terms of intellectual. So this is a region that can't afford to suffer some avoidable mistakes, some avoidable brouhaha. So for Ejimako to give a dual impression, mixed reaction. On the one hand, it was satisfactory because it's said that how it was brought to Nigeria was not right, and on the other hand, a bit disappointing because possibly they expected that it would be released today. But as I've said, in politics, 24 hours is a long time. You could just say before the end of the day, I'm not saying that categorically now, or before even Christmas, that okay, MNK should be let go, but on certain conditions. And if that is what will bring about peace as we've desired over the past 2-3 years now, or even more, so be it.
Let's look at the ambition of Nnamdi Kanu, the reason why he was arrested. Now, you're talking about bail with conditions. I don't understand. Is it that if he's released, he's not going to go after that ambition anymore? I mean, how is it going to look like? Is it like, okay, a way of silencing this man or silencing the entire Southeast? Okay, we've released you, go and sin no more. Is that what it is?
Now let me go history lane a bit.
Okay.
When the highly revered, and because you can call him one of the legends of the Southeast in history, you know, Chief Odumegoju, the father of everything Biafra now, after the Civil War, 7 to 70, he said something that, yes, because of what they seeking me, can there be Biafra part 2? Said no. Part 1, there was war, lives were needlessly lost because he and Gowon, young men, then embarked on just an unnecessary ego trip. That's why sometimes I tell some of my students, young men, please learn a bit about life before you vie into certain offices. Gowon and Ojukwu could have avoided what happened. Millions of lives on both sides were lost because two men who got promoted very early in life just would not listen to each other. But that aside, so Ojukwu was approached and he told them point blank that Biafra going to war again, no, but there can be a Biafra of the mind, which to me is not out of place. To want to secede from a state is not peculiar to Nigeria. As I speak to you right now, there are about at least 10 recognized secessionist group in the United States of America, the paragon of presidential democracy. In fact, one of the funny names is that the Grand Coalition of Rapid and Fire. As in, when you hear some of these names, there's the Republic of Texas, so many groups in America that want to leave America even after 247 years of independence. But some just don't want. That's what democracy is all about. Some people just don't want. In Cameroon, the other day, I overheard the CP, as in Commissioner of Police Chooks, you know, how that Cameroon, the English-speaking part of Cameroon, want to be left alone. They are called the Ambazonians, and on. So for Ojukwu, the second time said there can be a Biafra of the mind, but we can't afford to go to war anymore. And in history, no nation has remained the same after a Second World War. Go and ask the then Yugoslavia. It balkanized into many parts. That's why you have Serbia today, Bosnia, Herzegovina, and the like. So no, that was what the Ikemba said then, that a second Biafra war, I am not part of that. Now, Ojukwu made it late to rest a bit. Then sometime around 1999-2000, when we came back to democracy, Ralph Uwazurike took it up from Masob. But Uwazurike made it clear from the one that he was not into any violence. He gave a kind of organized speech somewhere in Washington. This is the aim. This is why I want this done. Although it was not, it said from outside that it was not too clear. He doesn't know everything that transpired then, but he just feels that maybe at this moment secessionist group should still continue. But he was never into violence. And while Uwazurike flew Masob, actually Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was with him then, working with him. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was now assigned to be the media chief and the arm of the information arm of Masob, where they had a station in London. But along the way, they separated for whatever reasons. Some have alleged that it had to do with some goodwill. Some alleged that Nnamdi Kanu felt Ralph Uwazurike was too soft. He felt he needed more heat. Okay. So since the ideologies were conflicting, one had to go the other way. So from there, IPOB emerged, and IPOB never saw it as something they should be too cold. They felt Masob, because the major reason they left Masob was that to them Uwazurike was too peace loving, and they're like Martin Luther King, like Malcolm X. You know, they were actually fighting for the cause of the blacks in America, but one was the soft version. Martin Luther King will tell you, I will go the Mahatma Gandhi way, but Malcolm X felt sometime fire for fire. So when you are thinking of maybe liberating your people, neither is wrong, neither is entirely right, neither is entirely wrong, neither is entirely right. Sometimes you want to speak, sometimes you want to apply the sticks, a carrot and stick policy. Because sometimes, take for example, when best does the average federal government hear you when you go on strike? When you write to them, when you tell them, let us have a meeting, let us dialogue, they may not listen to you. But when you embark on strike, government will listen to you. So sometimes maybe that was where Nnamdi Kanu said that if we want to secede, which they have a right anyway, although the 1990 Constitution does not give a room for referendum, we must say that clearly, that we can't afford to just make it, let us be pacific. Let us be pacifist in nature. Let us just keep speaking. Maybe they will hear us. We may have to apply a bit of heat. But along the way,
this bit of heat, bit of heat you're talking about, an eye for an eye, we will all go blind.
Yes.
I know. You know that.
I know that.
Now, it has not been favoring the Southeast.
Okay.
Too many killings. Is that why you find an Igbo man killing another Igbo man? Because one man, Nnamdi Kanu, is in prison, and so they felt the best way to go about it is to make the Southeast ungovernable?
It's unfortunate that what happens in Southeast is affecting the whole of Nigeria, if not the entire sub-region of West Africa. Sometimes when we open certain doors, we may mean well, but it could be hijacked. I'm an unfortunate victim, as I speak to you, during the NSAS protest, which started well. I was with them for the first 4 days, but afterwards, when the government, disbanded the SARS and what have you, I left, feeling that okay, nothing like SARS anymore. Only for the initial peaceful protest to be hijacked. I lost many things, as in offices, headquarters that I own were burned, lost cars. In fact, that I'm still standing today, I can add this to a greater force that has sustained me, because I lost substantially then. I lost substantially. And I've told myself, if I recover before the end of this decade, I'm talking of materially now, it will almost be a miracle of the decade for me. But that's aside. One is picking up from the crumbs anymore again. So when something that has a good intention is hijacked, that is what has happened. That's why the Samuel Ekpas of this world will still be pulling some string, and you see how what goes on. I've been personally affected with what goes on in Southeast. I've had to be in lecture. I've lectured for the past 2 decades and counting. I've had several students go to either FUTO, Federal University of Technology of Owerri, or UNN, the premier university in the Southeast, University of Nigeria, Nsukka. And on Mondays, it's not been palatable. I remember about 2 years ago, so my students had to go and write post-jam there. They actually slept in the bus. I said, they had to wait because they left on Sunday, but they didn't get to Nsukka on time. And Monday was a no-go area. They slept in the bus, and 5 of them went, 4 got admission, 1 did not get admission because he couldn't bear that one could not just bear the trauma. And we have our different physiologies. We are created in different ways. Others could survive, but one of them didn't pass. He didn't enter Nsukka because he just didn't get himself. He was traumatized by virtue of the fact that on Mondays everything was locked down. So it has affected so many. Nnamdi Kanu might have opened the door with the mind that if we keep pushing this again and again, we'll get it. But don't rule out the fact that it can always be hijacked with those with ill intentions, and that I suspect has been the lot of the Southeast over time. All manner of people have come in the guise of IPOB, fighting for the emancipation of the Southeast, and they've compounded the woes of the region. That's how I see it. Because you may mean well, as I said, but when your intention is not, or is misconstrued by some people, they actually use your name. It's a case of always having the voice of Jacob but the hands of Esau. Okay. So this is what has transpired over time. No normal, no rational thinking person will want to hurt all they've built over the decades. And again, I'll commend the Igbo spirit, honestly. After the civil war, after the devastation, in less than 3-4 decades, they still built again, like the proverbial phoenix. From the dust, they've risen again. But now, maybe if this political situation is arrived at, which I suspect will be, then we can still pick up again. Because don't forget, the Southeast does not stand in isolation. It's a part of Nigeria, and whatever ails the Southeast will ail Nigeria. I'm sure the man with the unique name, Jude Ikami Jude, if you suffer whitlow on just one finger, you can tell that for the whole, till that whitlow leaks, or maybe just a toothache, it affects the whole body. That's what we are suffering now in Nigeria. That's why because our economy is not really balanced, we keep going borrowing. Our area market can provide for the whole of West Africa without batting an eyelid. But who will go to market when you know that you go there, you may not come back alive? So what has happened over time is that IPOB had their intentions, let's keep agitating, but some people hijacked it, and that is the result we're having till date.
I'm surprised when I see people support Simon Ekpa. You know, sometimes when I go through his Facebook or whatever, I see the kind of massive support that he gets on social media. And I now wonder, okay, if, for instance, Nnamdi Kanu is released today, where will Simon Ekpa be? Who will now be Simon Ekpa?
Who is Simon Ekpa?
Because it's now like, okay, Simon Ekpa is another version of Nnamdi Kanu. Since the Nnamdi Kanu we know is in prison, then here comes Simon Ekpa, who will now play the one. So I don't know, where would Simon Ekpa now be when this guy is released?
If Samuel Ekpa is who they tout him to be, then I don't think I want to have anything to do with him. This was Samuel Ekpa, because I always see things from my jurisdiction, the academic jurisdiction. Was it last or 2 WAECs ago? Some students actually went to school for WAEC that very day. Go, didn't you know that? Don't you know that you should not come to school on Monday? We are doing WAEC. It's a national thing. They didn't listen. No, they beat them. They beat the teachers. So if that is what Samuel Ekpa stands for, woe betide him wherever he finds himself in Finland, because he's been hiding away from there. And I don't understand why such a man has not been brought back, because I don't think Nnamdi Kanu would have gone the way of making them beat students. I don't think it would have gone that low. So Samuel Ekpa going to the point that they will beat students, harmless, innocent kids under as in teenagers. You don't go that length and say you are which message are you passing across? And by the way, you don't know the fact that even in a family, among every 12 there will always be a Judas. It's not out of place that some people, because over time Nnamdi Kanu, by way of what he got involved in, became extremely popular, and to the discomfort of some even top politicians in the southeast. I can see this authoritatively. So as you try to say, I listen to you and I just smile sometimes. How that you said, was it on Monday or Tuesday? No, most I don't have the luxury of listening for the entire 2 hours, but sometimes I haven't asked some students, please tape record this, tape record that. I will listen to it later. How I say sometimes sometimes your worst enemy is within your enclave. Your worst enemy is your clan member. So some of them are not comfortable with the fact that Nnamdi Kanu has amassed so much popularity.
Really?
Oh yes. I say that unequivocally. So don't be surprised that some of them are even the ones fanning the fact that don't release him, because if I imagine if the verdict had gone today that, oh, please let him go, I can imagine the jubilation in the southeast. And popularity is the currency of politicians. Once they sense that they are like the biblical Saul, David had done something for Israel, he was coming back. But how our mommies and our sisters will do sometimes. Nobody asks them to start singing, oh, Saul has killed his thousands, David has killed his 10,000. And for that, David got into trouble with Saul for a scheme he didn't institute. The ladies just felt, oh, this man that had done the incredible for us by killing our nemesis over 40 days, Goliath. So also, if Nnamdi Kanu is released today, you can be rest assured that if it commands a cult followership. So, and some politicians are not convenient with that. Never. They feel jealous. Let me just put that point blank. That how can this man that's never vied for an office politically be so popular, be this popular? They listen to him a lot. So some of them will do anything to have him. Even if the political solution is arrived at, some of them will still ensure that maybe he loses a cloud or a term for a popularity. They just don't get convenient with the fact that his name is everywhere.
Why? Let's look at why Nnamdi Kanu was imprisoned. Because self-determination is supported by even the UN. Of course. Right? Now, but we want to find out, why was he imprisoned in the first place? Is it because, though you mentioned a little of it, but then I want to find out, is it because of his popularity, like you mentioned, right? Or is it because he has, the Southeast is not united, really, like the governors, maybe some presidents, his brothers are really not together to fight this cause. Why? Now, of course, it's always a case of there is no saint anywhere. We all have our flaws. Mazi was a bit too extreme. He had a cause to fight, no doubt, but he took it a tad too far, and because of that, it was the reason some people misinterpreted his message. Oh, do this, fight that, kill this, and like that. He said some of these things. But even in saying that, as they will say, if you send a child on an errand now, it's incumbent on that child, young man, go and slap that man there. The young boy will look at it, yes, daddy has sent me to go and do this, but maybe I'll just go to the man and say, my daddy said he doesn't like what you're doing, so please leave this place. There are ways his followers and those that believe in the cause could have interpreted some things he said.
There are ways they could have gone about it. So the Mazi had his own extreme cases, and we're all about our extreme cases, dealings. But as I said, his popularity just didn't sit down well with so many of his clansmen. You take that from me. He just felt this guy is a threat. This guy, if at all we realize the Southeast, may just be our unanimous leader. Nobody will listen to us because he commands their affection, he commands their love, their sympathy, and like that. So I won't be surprised that if a sizable proportion of his predicament today has come from his own very blood. Yes. Oh yes. He said some things. He went overboard in certain areas, but as I've said, he could as well have been by his followers reinterpreted. You can tell me that, okay, I can, there are ways you can say sorry. If you say sorry, I say sorry, you both said sorry, but the body language matter. I can interpret what you mean by sorry, whichever way you now put it. So if you have said something like, okay, we are fighting for our cause, the Southeast must matter, blah blah blah, they can go about it. They could have gone about it in different ways. But the bottom line is that the fact that he commanded the respect of virtually many people, never went down well with some of his clans, and you won't refer that some of them will possibly now hijack whatever he said and carry it out in a very wrong way, which goes against the law of the land. But because he's the author, he began the conversation, he can always be traced back to him. They won't go and meet those who actually carried out those dastardly acts, those evil acts. They will now say, okay, after all, it was the leader that said it, and I think that's the reason he was extradited.
Do you think the southeastern governors are together in this cause?
No, not entirely. And whoever is against the program of Southeast, they may be having a field day. When you talk of the Southeast governors from Soludo to Mbanao, Hope Uzodinma, a man that is not in the good book of many Southeasterners, the current Ebonyi governor that succeeded Umahi, and Alex Oti. Alex Oti is a bit laid back. Alex Oti is just a businessman. He came from the banking sector, so all he wants to see is that Abia thrives, and Abia, I must say, has not enjoyed. They have been under a spell of bad governors since 1999. Ojizo Kanu was just focused on maybe as if anybody is living in the whole of Abia State. You will not pay salary on time. Theodore G even took it a bit lower. Not to talk of Ikpazu.
Really?
Yeah, Ikpazu. I mean, as I've said, my respect for the Igbo man knows no limit. But when I hear people like Ikpazu, tell you that he gives 500 naira to a woman just coming out of that just gave birth to a baby, you begin to, and he was celebrating that. He was celebrating the fact that he brought a franchise, a restaurant. Now, of course, I won't give them free publicity here. That he brought them to Abia State. Is that part of celebration? So over time, they've not really enjoyed, in quote now, like the other southeastern states when it comes to governance. But I think I'm a huge fan of Alex Oti because I know him from the banking sector. He was a star there. I hope he will translate what he did in the banking sector, private sector, on a larger scale, because sometimes it doesn't come easy. You look at someone like Soludo, when he was vying for office in Anambra State, he was always boasting for that I was governor of Central Bank. But when he got in, I remember his first 100 days in office, he said that to govern a state is entirely different, from governing a bank. He knew reality, because when you govern a bank as a central bank governor, you are always there with like minds, men in the finest of suits, with the biggest briefcases, the deepest pockets, men that can transform with their money, with their influences. But when you govern a state, sometimes you may hear or get a call at 2 a.m. Something is not going right in one local government. Something is not right in a particular development council. Something is not wrong. Is not right in a particular ministry. A commissioner may tell you that we actually intended to bring in those bulldozers, but we are told that it will come next week. So you have all manner of things going on as the governor of a state. Don't forget, the state is a federalist unit, which is political, and politics govern every other thing, whether it is social, cultural, economics, education. Politics is above all. So he got to know and realize that to govern a state is far different from governing. They may have the same appellation, governor, but governor past governor, he knew that. So Alex Oti Soludo and Co. They must come together, including Upholds and the current governor of Ebonyi State. They must all come together to speak with one voice and not limited to those ones, because if you put all these governors together, do they command the clouds of Peter Obi? Peter Obi is a force in the southeast. So they must buy into all this and they must come out with one voice. One voice, not leaving out the Ohanese leaders. They must all come out with one voice. Once that is done, I think the Southeast is good to go, honestly.
Now, some persons feel that some persons in government, actually, some Nigerians feel that some persons in government are actually against the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Now, look at how Sunday Igboho was released. Now, that's why I want to also find out from you. What do you think is the reason why government is, making this thing slow? I mean, slowing down the process of his release, making it look like is a huge thing. Because in Nigeria, we know when government wants you to be released, they do everything possible and you released immediately, and it will even look like there is any big deal there. But this one is kind of slow and like, I don't know, there's like a deliberate attempt to whatever. Now, why do you think this process is slow? That's just my question to
Fine.
you.
Let me borrow the balance from some of my students, especially the undergraduates now. I hope they're listening, Boka, Ife, and the like. I know they're listening. In 2020, while I was still writing my doctorate, I became a doctor not too long ago. I took time to Google some names. One of the most Googled name in the world around 2021 is a certain Nnamdi Kanu. When you compare Sunday Igboho with Nnamdi Kanu, as my student would say, Sunday Igboho, they play. He's like just one man that wants attention by all means, and even how to go about it, he didn't really know. He was incoherent in many ways, in terms of planning, in terms of speech. Not Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu, have you heard him speak before? He speaks very well. He is coherent, as in you could tell that he's an intelligent man. And when an intelligent man handles some things, you are not intelligent for fun. You can as well bypass some certain things. So he was massive in his movements, in his deeds. As I've said, he was extremist in certain aspects. But Sunday Igboho was just, in fact, many Yorubas didn't even buy into what he was trying to do. So from day one, it was like a brought-in dead case for Sunday Igboho. So to have let him go would have been not much of a headache. He was even apprehended in the Republic of Benin. They would have done that with Nnamdi Kanu. No. So Nnamdi Kanu was way more influential by virtue of his knowledge, by virtue of the people he controlled. As I've said, a metaphor for this was when I Googled some names, then during the lockdown where you had all to do was with your phone and your family members. So his name was one of the most Googled in the world, even compared to some American presidents, some British prime minister like that. So it tells you of how massive the man was. So for a man like that, you wouldn't expect them to treat his case with kid gloves like that of Sunday Igboho. Sunday Igboho was just like a fly that's perched on a very massive animal who didn't command much respect. He tried to ape Nnamdi, but their intellectual abilities were world apart. The Sunday Igboho is barely an head. If you hear him something, I wonder, okay, you just want to take, as they say, chop rice and leave stone. But when you hear Nnamdi Kanu, he speaks fluently, eloquently. He's as in a force when it comes to he's got the gift of the gab. So such a man will command authority. He's a man that has dual citizenship. Don't forget, he was in London. London is a hub around the world. So he had very many things going for him. So how you treat such a person will be way different from how you treat Sunday Igboho, even if their causes are not going to aid certain things. So the treatment meted out to him will naturally, logically be different from that given to Igboho.
Now, there's a very vital question I want to ask you.
Please don't forget.
Before I drop that one, we were told that Finland was also supporting Simon Ekpa. Several times Nigerians had wished that this guy is arrested in Finland, but It all went down the carpet. Nothing happened at the end of the day. And we begin to wonder, is it that country likes what is happening in this country?
Finland is just
is that what it is?
Yeah. Finland is just a micro country.
Because why is it difficult for this guy to be arrested?
That is why it still tells back to some members, some family members of Nnamdi Kanu who have him just stay there. because later I heard that he was accorded his respect in the DSS. You know, look, in life there is nothing, no matter how esoteric, how hidden, whatever it is, we get to hear, news will filter out. At the point, it was a case of he was wearing only one cloth to cut all the time, but that changed. He was accorded his due respect. Don't know the fact that those covering Samuel Ekpa are those that just want to ensure that this man that is far more popular than we are, that enjoys more goodwill, just must not come out. So they by default aid what Samuel Ekpa is doing. Yes, that is just natural. They by default, as Finland is a country barely with 5 million, it's a Scandinavian country, so they can easily, if some Nigerian politicians are so massive out there, they buy property all over the world. So these are men that they would easily say, Simon, we have your back. He wouldn't have been this reckless and fakeless, irresponsible, because that the height of irresponsibility will be a man ordering that students be beaten. What is the crime of these kids? As in their teachers too, who were to supervise them in WAEC, were beaten because of a very reckless Samuel Ekpa. But don't worry the fact that it is a case of some of the guys that are envious of MNK and all he stands for are the ones backing him and backing him massively. Don't forget, they have watches, they have money, so they will do everything to protect Samuel Ekpa. That is the simple reason whereby he's not been apprehended. They are behind him just to ensure that, please just take a bit, bite into the popularity of this man. If, as I've said, if you will Google and a name appears more than the American president, in political parlance, he said that, in fact, there is one song they sing when an American president is inaugurated on this year, January 20, whatever year now. Yeah. You've got the whole world in your hands. He's always started as the most powerful person on earth, but in the name of a man without an office, a non-state actor, appears more on Google than that of American president. That man is really popular. I'm talking of Nnamdi Kanu. So some governors, some guys that are just envious of whatever he's doing will do anything to just ensure that at least let us tone down this popularity. Because if South is happening, you can't do that anything. Nnamdi Kanu will be the unanimous leader. He wouldn't even need to vote, as my Yorubas will say. Such a person will not even need to go. Look at Salva Kiir now in South Sudan. He was their undisputed leader. Immediately they got independent from Sudan, that was in July 2011, they didn't even think twice that this is our unquestionable leader. So that is what some of them fear, and that's why they will aid Samuel Ekpa, if just to put down a lead on the popularity of Nnamdi Kanu. So don't rule out the fact that they are the ones actually following him.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, now here is the question I want to ask you. Then maybe we'll get to talk to some persons again, or maybe I get to read some messages here. Now, in all sincerity, Igbos, the Southeast, is supposed to control the Nigerian economy.
Very well, right? Very well.
You believe so?
Yeah, I believe that unequivocally, as undoubtedly.
Let me take this to my hometown, where I come from.
I'm willing to hear that.
I know you are.
I'm willing to hear that.
The truth is, Igbos helped my community to grow. I grew up seeing Igbos doing things in my community, making it happen, and where we are now is like boom. I can say it is with the help of the Igbos, right? But now, and of course in Lagos here, same thing can be said. Let's not be biased.
No bias is there. Yes.
Good. But when we look at the Southeast, when we go to the Southeast, some of the structures we're supposed to see economically, I don't know how to put that right now. Some of the structures we're supposed to see, some of the beautiful things we're supposed to see are not there.
Yeah.
And that begs the question, why? The Southeast is still somehow backwards. And these guys we say are the Nigerian China, right? They manufacture a lot of things. In fact, their heads these guys are good. But what they do, go to Ladipo market, you see them do their stuff, you marvel at, of course, serious? They can transform a car to anything. But now let's go to Southeast. The Southeast is still somehow backwards. The question is, why? What is happening?
The saying that a physician heal thyself, or if I go backwards again, but it's another proverbial route that a prophet has no honor in his house. as I said, undoubtedly. In fact, it's even said that whenever you get to in any part of Nigeria, and maybe by extension Africa, if you can't find an Igbo man there, check whether you are on this planet or you are from Mars, where Ikamijude is from. But for real, the industrial nature of my Igbo brother is never in doubt. They can transform just about anything. They see business in whatever. Bring out a cup of water, an Igbo man can easily see the business angle to it. That is how they are wired. And you can't begrudge God or nature or whatever you choose to call the higher force now, putting them that way. They just are industrialists by nature. And that is why the system that they carry, their inner agitations, will not make them stay in a place. But then it's not for you to go elsewhere, collaborate with other ethnic groups and develop such area as we have undisputedly everywhere they go to, and now leave your own backyard. That would be incongruous. It doesn't add up. You are busy building your own. It's like a case of one landlord whose house just got burnt, but is so glad to go and housewarm his fellow landlord. Maybe the other day you got your own house burnt last night, and a fellow landlord is warming his own house the following day, and you were there all over the place rejoicing, celebrating. People wonder, is this man all right? So that has been the case of the average Igbo man with his industrial flair, his natural aptitude to see things develop business wise, goes everywhere and shines. It will shine. You know, there is this joke among my students that a young boy called Chima was called Chima. Yeah, come here. What is 10 plus 10? Chima will just say that. I'm not very sure whether it's 20, but you say, Chima, what is 10 naira plus 10 naira? Instantly Chima will tell you that is 20 naira. Very Anambra brothers, don't vex you, 20 naira. But what I'm saying is that they have this creation that's in, they are created in this way, and nature is deliberate. God is deliberate. I believe in him. He's deliberate. He has given each person, we are humans, yes, but there are some peculiarities to different races. Sometimes that's why we need one another to make a world. No wonder they said variety makes the world. Variety is the spice of life. You know what goes on. So he has given some people what an average tribe may do, like take them like 2 decades to get right. It will take just some people 2 years to get the same thing done. That's how they work. So they go everywhere and thrive business wise. But unfortunately, well, maybe I will not totally agree with the fact that maybe right now, yes, Southeast is down on its knees. But some 10 years before now, not entirely so. I still go back to how they were able to develop, to come back from the dead after this civil war. My younger brother served about almost 2 decades ago now, somewhere in Anambra. Yes, and I took time. I was with him for almost a week. I took time to see Newi. I saw Oka. I saw many places, and I was impressed. I even told him, I said that, why is that some of my brothers want to come to Lagos? Because Newi then was the south, the capital of the east then. What Ibadan was to the west, Newi was to the east. You know, Nsuka, all these places are developed in their own way, at their own pace. So you imagine that then and now, things have gone really all right. Things have gone south. But can they rebuild? I trust that my Igbo brothers can rebuild. So it's just for us to focus a bit more. All the millions and billions we are making, go to Texas, Houston, Texas. You think it's an Igbo state there because they are thriving. They just have this flair. Wherever they find themselves, that's their own gift from nature. But can we still, take a part of what we are doing elsewhere and bring them back home, provided there is peace, there is security? Because business will not thrive in a chaotic environment. No man in the senses want to send money down when you know that a particular day you will not even be allowed to go out. So once this can be guaranteed, then they will bounce back. The civil war was so severe. In 3 years, millions of lives were lost on both sides. Yes, but they still came back. And this one is not really a civil war. It's just some guerrilla warfare going on. Agitation, secessionists, whatever. But they can easily bounce back in the next, even for the end of this decade, provided there is the right atmosphere. So as we make names all over the world, let's remember that back home, we need to put some things on ground. And Nigeria will be the better for it. I know that.
Do you think that the Southeast will be better when an Igbo brother ascends the position of the president in this country?
I'm not ruling out that. But I always argue this way. I go back to the American country, the United States of America, that even 247 years after, they still have some 10, 12 secessionist group that believe that they don't want to be part of America. When 13 colonies came together to oppose the British taxation in 1776, Rhode Island, I think Wyoming, and maybe West Virginia, 3 states of the 13 original states. Today, America is a 50-state country. You know, Obama was born in Hawaii, the 49th state that was registered, 49 that was registered in the 60s. He became president. But I can tell you that 3 states from the original 13 have never produced an American president. But America still goes on. America still moves on. Look, our attention on the center over time has become so unhealthy that nothing is guaranteed. I would rather have my name intact forever, that I operated at a level that, take Museveni for example, take Mugabe for example. When they actually fought for their country's independence, they were well respected, but years after they occupied the central position, being the president, some of them have left their names in tatters forever. They destroyed what they were building. So sometimes it's not until you get to the center. I'm not ruling out that, of course, we all have this sense of belonging. Yes, let at a particular time let somebody occupy from other region. Yes, all regions are blessed with eggheads, intellectual minds that can rule Nigeria. But if it is hinged on the fact that unless I rule, I get the center, it will not bring about development. I had a friend over a decade plus. I've said it here before. I think when Chioma deputy, when she stayed, student for you, and I said on the VOP TV that I have a friend when he was to travel to America. When he told me that he's going to Rhode Island, I asked him, "Are you alright? What are you going to do in Rhode Island? You have New York there, New Jersey, California, and like." Now he still defied us. He went to Rhode Island. 10 years after, he keeps telling us that he has no business going to the big cities of the world, because Rhode Island is not by any means low as in inferior to all the states. They are not any less American in Rhode Island than you have in New York, than you have in Texas, the biggest by landmass. So that the American spirit, the American nature pervades. Even Rhode Island is one of the smallest states in America, one of the original 13. They did not produce a president, but they are not even bothered, because over the years, the states of the Rhode Island states, which the federation unit, they have their own constitution as well. They have their Supreme Court at the state level, they have their Senate, they have their executive, and like that. So they are not any less American. They feel whatever happens in New York or Washington DC is felt also in Rhode Island. What our advice is that inevitably an Igbo man will rule Nigeria. Inevitably, we can go on and on. Oh, we want it now. It may not come now, but inevitably that will happen. But is that the reason why the Southeast must be brought to come at us? No. If Alex Oti, who I am a fan of, if he rises to the occasion and does well in Abia State, do you think we need to have Alex Oti as president? Charles Soludo is another person that can't afford to disappoint, and I've gone through his performance in the last almost 2 years now. Not been very bad. Opuzodima, of course, I know someone wants to hear this, but he's done something that you can look at a bit too, and on and on. I mean, David Umahi, he just left Ebonyi State, and he left it a very good state. I mean, he did a yeoman's job in Ebonyi State, that even when he was elected as senator, Tinubu practically begged him, "Young man, I want you in my region. You can't go to the Senate. Please come and work with me." That was how good it was at Ebonyi State. So when all these aggregate, when all these governors excel at the Southeast, who cares whether somebody is ruling? Sometimes it's just a case of ceremonial being at the center. Because as I've said, you may get there and even inflict more damage on the reputation you had before you became president. That's why right now I don't envy the president, Asiwaju. Asiwaju did some things in his time in Lagos, I must say that. Okay. But now as president, in the first 6 to 7 months, sorry if I have to mark Asiwaju's script, he has not really been stellar, and I hope he won't throw away. As I've said, I've never had a dog in the fight. The last election, the 3 of them, the 3 major candidates, I felt they could do anything. But right now, if I will mark Asiwaju's script, I know, and if I borrow the glass of his chorus of followers, they've not been too impressed with something that's going on. And if you consider it for 4 years, it's going to really damage his name. It's going to damage irreparably his name. So sometimes getting to the center may be more of a curse than a blessing. So that's just my opinion. But that an Igbo man will rule Nigeria, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. The performance put up by Peter Obi at the last election, he was barely the candidate of Labour Party it was up to 3 or 4 months, and he was still able to poll 6 million. If he had started earlier, or maybe he would have done that. Maybe if he had the PDP platform to himself. But of course, there is always an Atiku.
Of course, you should know that some persons are still dragging that he actually won the election.
Oh, well, I mean, it's a democracy. All manner of opinions will fly. All manner of will fly. But if he won, fine. If he didn't win now, he may win later. And I believe that, because to have put up such a performance at the last election, it tells that he's not someone you want to look at and say, who is he? That's why the coalition that they propose, as in the parties in opposition, when the chairman asked me the other day, am I aware of that? I said, I have heard that. In fact, it's not only coalition, you can call it a merger or even a conglomerate. But the first thing I asked was that, is Peter Obi involved? She said, for now, the body language that he's not really involved yet. I said, if he's not involved, then they are still dreaming. Let me see Barrow.
But right now, the Labour Party is involved.
Not just Labour Party now. Is Peter Obi himself involved? That's the question. Because he has risen. If you mention the top 3 politicians in Nigeria today, maybe the president, maybe Atiku, then you have to mention Peter Obi. He has grown that massive. That is why my fear is that even if he gets involved, and 2007, if APC still keeps floundering and fumbling left and right as they've been doing, then the opposition stands a very good chance. But who will bail the cat will be the case. I don't expect any more.
No, but some have come out to say that the 2027 election is a deal right now, as it stands.
Done
like
deal?
Today. Hold on. Today, like today, now that we see, that we know, that if election is conducted like this, forget it.
I don't believe that.
That's
No
what some
way.
persons have said.
I say it vehemently. No way. Let me ask you, as the 100%, I've asked maybe 99% now. I'm not proverbial, literally. Can I visit you on Christmas Day? Because I can't tell that I will do many things I've done in the past on Christmas Day. So will you be my host on Christmas Day?
No, hold on. They will tell you to go to court. We're talking about the court process, the judiciary now, INEC as a body.
I'm talking of the economy here. In 6 months, the subsidy, which was hastily done, not well conceived, has pauperized many. In my compound, we have close to 6 or 7 cars. Today, 4 or 5 of them have been gathering dust for the past 3 months. If I have a neighbor who goes on bicycle now, he goes on bicycle to wherever he's going. That's a metaphor for what is going on in Nigeria. So if they delude themselves that, they will rise to power again. Yes, Tinubu has 4 years to still do what he should do. And if he doesn't do well, it will be, look, the last election for me, I believe the last election was good. I'll tell you why. 6-7 governors who have governed for at least 4 years, at most 8 years, lost a third of their state by way of central district. Is it Autumn? Is it Ikpazu? Is it which other one now? On and on. An anonymous Okada rider in Kaduna won a seat, and is still in the House of Rep today. And is it Stadios? I can't remember his name now. Won at Etiosa constituency. So it showed that, to an extent, yes, Mahmoud might have overpromised, and that's down to his ignorance, because when he kept giving wild promises that he was going to do this, I said, I hope you guys know that this man is not in law to himself. For those that believe Professor Mahmoud Yakub, from the one, I never believed all he was saying, because you can't give words just at your own behest. There was electoral law which he was not properly didn't understand, or even the constitution. So he went out just promising what he could not fulfill. And that's why we have what we have today. But the election threw up some shocks. Even Tinubu, I would never have expected I would lose in Lagos. He lost in Lagos. So to an extent, I see a bit. I see some credibility in the last election with skirmishes. Even in 2000, Al Gore knew it was rigged out. How Trump still won against Hillary will still be for some political scientists to beam their satellite on forever, because Hillary won by far the popular vote, but the electoral vote that counted, Trump won. But there were some all manner of, even the last election that Biden emerged, all manner. So it's a human system. There will be skirmishes, but all in all, it's a case of, if APC delude itself that if an election is conducted today, is it a party that when the president came to Lagos, there were about almost 120 motorcade? They kept denial. Many of them were not part of government. When he went for the United Nations General Assembly, same thing. The Dubai debacle just happened about 2 weeks ago, same thing. Who's deceiving who?
Is it about all of these things you mentioned? But the cocoa, the last election, you knew what happened. It was like the violent ticketed by force kind of election. So it's not about, if it's free and fair, All right, if it's free and fair, it's a different ballgame.
I know,
but this is a different thing.
That's
why I said in 2027.
Yes,
and some persons have also said,
yes,
if the election is conducted, they don't see any other party.
Look,
even with the merger.
Look, no,
because see, these guys have taken over. APCs everywhere, whether you like it or not.
Okay, you say that.
APCs everywhere.
You are saying that?
No, yeah, because from the judiciary to INEC to they have their people almost everywhere, spread across board. So what would you want to say? How would you want to do it?
I've seen
for some 2027 election is taken.
It is fatalistic to have that attitude. Please, if you're a politician, don't by any means just sit down, lean back, and think all is done. No.
In fact, I even heard somebody said on this platform, on this show, he said that he is not actually advising Peter Obi to do anything in 2027.
Why? I don't buy into that,
because according to him, that the same thing will happen.
No, I don't see. I don't discuss politics as I've done in almost 2.5 decades. I'm too savvy politically to buy into anything. Look, performance has been key and will remain key. If this government fails to perform, they will get a shocker of their lives. All I will just implore the opposition is, please, don't let them keep exploring. The reason APC seem to be larger than life is that these parties also give rooms for them to explore. PDP has remained a shadow of itself since the last time. Atiku had all reasons in the world to win this election, but somehow he kept shooting himself, not only on one foot, on both feet. Who does that? How do you fight 5 state executives and expect to really win? In the north, in Katsina he won, in Buhari's domain he won, in Kaduna, everywhere he was coasting to victory. Maybe as some have posited, if he had Peter Obi on the side, maybe he would have easily won. But Peter Obi has become a man on his own, of his own, so that 2007 proposition, that's why I fear, would that be one voice? Because now Peter Obi can't be subservient to Atiku anymore. It can't be. He's still the respectful Peter Obi. After the election, he had reasons to. Each time he will refer to Atiku, he will still say my boss. But my boss only in voice now. If some of them should go to the field now, I don't think Atiku can beat Peter Obi. I don't think so.
And now, if there is a merger that brings together Kwankwanto, Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, and who again? Who around?
Maybe maybe. No. Okay, those three. Those three should do. Those three should do.
Yeah. Just these three. I ask, who is going to lead the train?
That is the question. And from Atiku's antecedent, Atiku will not want to play second fiddle to anybody. But in reality, is almost, if I say it carefully now, a spent force. Atiku is a spent force. Atiku will be advised to just, please, look, I keep saying one thing. If you go through Nigeria's politics in the last 63 years, since we became a flag independent country, you can't mention 30 politicians that have really bestrode the scene like colossus they are, and you don't mention Atiku. No way. As in top 30, and this will include the class of the Awos, the Zigs, the Balewa, the Sadauna. If you mention 30, Atiku's name will feature. Yes.
Really?
Yes, I can say. I mean, this is one of my forte. I have many things I try to hold on, but politics, and when it mean reading between lines, Atiku he's been relevant since 1992 and is still very relevant today. Very relevant. But Atiku should realize that your name is not made only when you occupy an office. I always go back to Benjamin Franklin. He was one of the founder fathers of the American state, but he never was a president. But you know what? Today, I think it's the $10 bill or the $100 bill. Benjamin Franklin's portrait is on the American dollar bill. Wherever you mention Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, the first president, who they refer to as their father, you can mention Benjamin Franklin in the same breath. Yet he was never their president, but his contributions, his involvement in American emancipation and their greatness can never be taken as in push aside. They don't care whether he was their president or not. But when you mention Jefferson today, you mention Washington today, you surely will mention Benjamin Franklin. But yet he never had the appellation of President Franklin. No. So sometimes our names are not made. Why do you think Mandela, after just a time, Mandela had every right to have made himself the life president of South Africa, but after a time he told them, this office is not making me. Already my name has been made. When it was released on February 11, 1990, I remember I had a commentary on BBC how that the then American president George Bush was standing beside Mandela, but the commentators who was agreed with it by all other broadcast stations that for once an American president is standing beside somebody far, far greater than he is, referring to Mandela. Referring to Mandela, Mandela was released, and the president of the United States, which by all means the greater person at any point in time. But they said it, and nobody controverted that. Today, for once, an American president is standing beside someone that is far, far greater. So Mandela didn't even need the South African presidency to make a name. So some names are made not because you were so some will argue is it that the hood that made the monk, or the monk that made the hood? So for Atiku, his name can never be erased when it comes to our political history. Never. So I think if the 2027 merger will ever exist, if Atiku still insists that he wants to be preeminent, then that thing will fail, as it will be brought in dead. Let him allow Peter Obi, who came from the blues. Because I keep saying that political sociologists and political scientists should take time to read what did this man really do? How did he so connect in such a short time with so many people? He connected with so many people in such a short time. It's almost a phenomenon, almost a miracle of some sort. Kwakwanso too cannot lie low for Atiku. So if there will be a coalition, a living coalition, Atiku will just have to work from the background. I'm sorry to say, but if he still insists that he wants to be, these ones will still eat into his vote. But what really happened at the last election, that Peter Obi ate into his vote. Yes, Peter Obi has become a man of himself. 6 million is no joke. So if Atiku had worked in coalition with the three of them, some people said PDP cannibalized, because Peter Obi was going to buy the form, but when he saw that the atmosphere was not clear, he left for Labour, and Labour felt this is a gold mine. Peter, what's his name? Professor Patutomi had to step down. Clearly, he was going to emerge as a Labour presidential candidate, but he knew that a bigger man is in town, so he stepped down. Kwakwanso that had no reason to go to an NPP also left. Imagine if all these ones had come together for Atiku.
Right.
So it tells you now Atiku cannot have it his way in 2027. No.
Thank you so very much. Dr. Moses Adebayo is an enthusiast indeed.
Thank you very much.
A political enthusiast. All right, let's get to the people, because we are voice of the people. Let's get to you. Those watching us live and those listening to us right now, wherever you are, let's get you involved in this discussion. So it means if you are watching us live on YouTube, kindly drop a comment so I can go there and read your comments, okay? And hey, on our WhatsApp number is open. Don't forget, the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 903 903. Again, 0700 903 903 903. Okay, that's it. But then if you want to call in, you're free to do so. The number to call is 0700 903 903 903. That's our special number, a hot number, 0700 903 903 903.
Please make it civil. Make it civil. I can ape you. I can.
Oh, you know I was going to say that, right?
Please, I know you that.
Okay. Maybe I shouldn't repeat it. I said it all already. So keep
it civil. That's one your punchline. Begging people, please keep it civil.
Okay.
Okay.
You've heard it. Please keep it civil. Make it civil, okay? And hey, let me add to that. 60 seconds for everyone, okay? If you must call in, please keep it 60 seconds. Move away from your radio set and or turn down the volume so we can hear each other. Thank you so very much. Let's go there quickly. 0700 903 903 903. Let's start from here. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
My name is Nixon Wampo. I'm calling from Interior ISIS.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. You say we should make it civil.
Mm-hmm.
We're all Nigerians. And we know what is going on in Nigeria. Our guest. You equally is one of us. I beg you, make we make this country, make it better. This country is dwindling. I'm telling you, nobody knows. The thing that is going on in the country, we know how the election went, and everything that went on. At my age, I will not lie. I'm a Nigerian, full Nigerian, born in Nigeria, bred in Nigeria, school in Nigeria, everything in Nigeria. And I'm still in Nigeria. I did beg when I was a politician. That guy, our guest is talking like a politician. I too am one. I'm a PDP member. Okay? But I'm not gonna say, I'm not talking about party. I'm not talking about party. I'm talking about the goodness of our country. Let's join hands together and see if we can redeem the image of this very country.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much for calling. Okay, let's talk to this person. Hello, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Jude.
Good afternoon to you.
This is John Legend calling.
All right, let's go. 60 seconds.
You say we should make it civil.
Exactly, please.
And we have been civil for a long time.
Exactly. Continue to be civil.
But the people in government are not civil to us. So now who is civil?
Maybe they will learn to be civil.
Shall we remain in sin? Grace abound. Shall we remain like this? Because we have been being civil from the one. By now we're supposed to be on the street. We Nigerians now supposed to be on the street. Can you imagine how much now people they are spending on transport from here to east?
How much is it though right now? Let me even get information.
For something thousand.
Are you serious?
Some 30.
So which state?
To my side, east.
No, which particular state?
It's my brother. The problem is that it's not as if you go today, you get to east the next. You will definitely stop at bypass because that place the road is capitally destroyed.
Wow.
There is no road to pass through that place. You might stay there for almost a day or 2 days before you pass. And when you want to enter inside Bini, that is where all these kidnappers are kidnapping people every day. And the government of Benin, they are still fighting the war against themselves, not for the masses. Now we are civil, but they have bought 100 and something million naira SUV, which they are not driving.
All right.
They are still flying.
Okay.
But they say we should be civil.
It's okay.
Today, as I'm talking to you now, I cannot travel to my village because of the kind of insurgency that is going on in Imo State. And the governor of Imo State have won election in Abuja, and he's not in Imo State. And we are being civil.
It's okay.
Who is fooling who here?
Thank you so very much, John Legend. I appreciate you. It's okay. Take it easy, okay? Take it easy. You really have to take it easy. Thank you so very much. Hello, good afternoon to you this afternoon. Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Sito calling from Freetown at the moment.
Freetown?
Yes.
South Africa?
Right. You want us to be civil, right?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, we have to be civil. Okay, thank you very much for the good job. I just want to disagree with that our brother there in two things.
Okay.
Although he tried his best to analyze some things, but in two things I want to disagree with him because it's something that concerns my people. I don't like when people, try to take away the right of the people. That is where I come in. Right. I just want to ask him one question. Can you mention one good thing that Hope Uzodinma have done? Because he mentioned his name. He said at least he has, they won't take away something from him. I don't know. Whatever he has been done. Could you mention one thing Hope Uzodinma have done in Imo State, please? The good thing, one of the good things, since he overthrew his brother, since he took away since he threatened Ihedioha position, Ihedioha won this election free and fair. Our people voted for him, and he's in the office for good 7, getting to 8 months, and then the instruction comes from the highest authority, from Abuja. That is where the instruction comes, and they vow that they must put Hope Uzodinma there. Now today, I can tell you when Hope Ihedioha was there, Imo State was going, business was going, everything was no killing, no harassment, no kidnapping, no organ harvesting. In Imo State today, there is organ harvested. I'm speaking to you today. You people, I want him to mention, before I can finish my topic, please mention one good thing, or maybe I will drop and then you can tell the whole world the good thing Hope Uzodinma have done.
Okay.
And please, if you are talking about the election of 2027, the APC have put themselves how they have already ringed it. So there's nothing like election in Nigeria.
It's okay.
Everybody should understand that.
Thank you so very much. You know, when you mention Opus Odinma,
I knew
you're looking for trouble.
I know.
Like you define trouble.
I know.
But it's okay. Let's take more calls. Okay, let's take more calls. But like I said, always just keep it civil for me. No need to all of those words now. We don't need it at all. Thank you so very much. Let's go here. Hello, good afternoon to you. Hello,
good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon to your guest.
Welcome.
Yeah, my name is Mr. Oscar, calling from Badagi.
Quickly, please, 60 seconds.
Okay. Sometimes when some people analyze their comments, their opinions, and their views on radio, I dislike some people who are not too knowledgeable in some things, casting aspersion on other person's opinion. That is something that I consider is an affront on my own part of my submission of my opinion. Yesterday, I called this radio station. I was talking about investment, collective bargaining, bringing people closer to the government. I think some people who are pseudo intellectuals, they were coming and trying to make some of their comment that is insensitive, not me. You see, the way some people, radio is for everybody to air his opinion.
Can you go ahead to say what you want to really say?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Hello? Oh. So sorry about that. You can call back if you can. Do call back if you can. Like I said, the number to call is 0700 903 903 903. WhatsApp 0700 903 9039. And let's get talking. Thank you so very much. I've got a lot of messages here though. A whole lot. Let me talk to this person first. Good afternoon to you from here.
Yeah, good afternoon. Please, Richard from Germany.
All right, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. What happened today in Abuja is really very sad. I know a lot of Igbo people were really waiting to see this young man freed today, but it didn't happen. But as I always, console myself, there is still hope for this for Nnamdi to be released. I still believe that he shall be released sooner or later. What we are praying is that nothing should happen to him in that place, because he has no access to his doctors, he has no access to good health, to his feedings, to his family. We pray always that nothing shall happen to him in that dungeon.
Yeah.
But excuse me, sorry. About what you said about development in Igbo land that is too poor. I disagree with you, because I grew up in the north. I grew up in Gusau. I lived in Kanu. I lived in Bauchi Darazo. I lived in Azare, in Meso, and finally in Jos, before I traveled to Germany. You cannot compare what is happening in Igbo land with all these places. The only problem we have is that there's no federal presence in Igbo land. There is no road, there's nothing. Even the so-called Niger bridge, second Niger bridge, was done many months ago. So if you come to Igbo land and you go inside villages, you can compare with all these things. The only way, maybe Abuja or Lagos or Kanu, which has a lot of federal presence, but go to Igbo land and see what is called development. Honestly, so I don't think you have traveled a lot in Igbo land. I grew up in the north, in Gusau. I speak Hausa like an Hausa man, so I know what I'm saying. Apart from all those maybe cities, you can compare Igbo land. Even though we came out from Biafra war, our land was devastated, and we built it, to a standard. You can't compare anywhere to Igbo land, maybe Lagos, Abuja, or Kaduna, which has a lot of government, federal government, presence. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Let's go this way quickly. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Ikame Judah.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. My name is Peter Usifo.
Welcome.
I'm speaking from Abaraja in Ekoto.
All right.
I also want to greet your guest there, who is an erudite scholar.
I greet you.
Good afternoon, sir. You are very tried. You are a good analyst. I've been following your analysis for some time.
Thank you.
I want to speak on Nnamdi Kanu's judgment today in the Supreme Court. Though the analysts have said his things, that is emancipation of the Igbo people while he was being detained, apart from the way he was brought home from Kenya. But the initial reasons why he was detained and being tried for treason and terrorism, emancipation of the Igbos, the Easterners, and of course, marginalization of the Igbos in Buhari's government. These are the two main things committed. But apart from that, the major thing which Buhari and the cabal in that administration will never forget or forgive him for is when he rumored, that is this Nnamdi Kanu, that Buhari has died when they went to London for treatment, and that there was robots in Buhari, that type of thing. So the Northerners at that point in time saw it as a very bad propaganda by this man against the Northerners. But there's way forward. In view of this Supreme Court government today, we are ready, we are finished. We say that government is continuum. For Tinubu to release him, he has to still go back to Buhari and the cabal in that administration to appeal to them so that.
No, you don't have to say that. No. You don't have to say that. It's not about Tinubu, Buhari. No. Don't go that route. Please don't. Thank you. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, this is Taiwo speaking.
Where are you calling from?
Hello? From Socio-economic, Mafoluko.
All right, quickly, please. 60 seconds.
Yeah, about the Atiku and Peter Obi and what's his name? The Hausa man. The only way they can make this election 2027, Atiku should step down. He should step down. He should be at the background and see Peter Obi and Kwakwaso defeat Tinubu. That is the only way out, because the next election in 2027 should be a southern affair, not a north-south affair. It's a southern affair. It should be anybody from the south. The north should be resting by now. It should be a southern affair. So it should be Peter Obi and Kwakwaso going against Tinubu. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
So that's my own stake.
Thank you.
That's my stake.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get to quickly read some messages now. Good afternoon. And your guest speaker. The judgment of the Supreme Court on Kanu leaves more people in awe. Why are much of unanimous judgments these days? It's a question you asked. Well, from Ilasa Maja, sir, Southeast is never in backwardness. Rather, say Southeast is. What are you trying to say? Okay, Southeast is in backwardness in terms of federal government influence and marginalization. We have River Niger at Onisha, and we have no seaports. If there is the presence of federal government, you will see how vibrant the Southeasterners are. Okay, it's okay. Well, our problem is not above my tonocracy. Ebuka from Isolo. Okay, he said that's why many people won't be willing to let others grow. Nigerian politicians are like some toxic bosses that won't allow their subordinates to grow, but rather always do what it takes to make sure that they who are the boss and stay on top at the detriment of the growth of their subjects. Selflessness is far from an average Nigerian politician. Ebuka sent that, right? Thank you so much. In fact, I do love my cap to your guest, Mr. Adebayo. I really appreciate his ideas, his whimsical ideas and analysis. Daniel from Oshodi sent in that message. Well, this person says the current problem of Igbo land started in 2021 when Hope Uzodinma ordered Air Force to bomb IPOB and ESN members in Olu Forest, guarding against Fulani headsmen using the forest to kidnap and terrorize farmers and other citizens. As for Igbos developing their homeland, it is not illogical to compare the Igbos to the Jews pre-1945. Okay. Until 1945, the Jews were busy developing other countries until they were pushed to the point where they found themselves between the wall and a hard place before they decided to develop their homeland that was promised them in the Bible. The uniqueness between Jews and Igbos is that they believe in the world to be a global village and unison in human families. Igbos are now pushed to the wall, and I bet anyone in the next 5 to 10 years, Igbo land will be heading the direction of the state of Israel in terms of development and technology. Ostaino from Oshodi dropped that one. Thank you so very much. It has indeed been made clear to me that Tinubu has okay. I told you if it's not civil, I would not read it. Right? You see now, I did not read it. Okay. All right. To some messages now. Let me see if I can touch on YouTube. My YouTube people. Some of these messages. Okay, hold on. Let's do this one first. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Renzi Kechuku, calling from Agodasu.
60 seconds.
You said that people should be civil. And even the Bible said that from the day of John the Baptist, the kingdom suffered violence. And only the violence will take it.
This studio is not part of it.
Hello, John. Hello, legend.
I can hear you. Go. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
I said, how do they take it? They will take it by force. It's only people that is in high places that don't know what the average Nigerians are going through. You have money that you save over the months and years deposited in the bank. Now, when you get to that same bank, they will tell you that you'll be giving only 20,000. Yeah, this is the same reason they kept Nnamdi in prison. Yes, applying his mechanism at CBN. My brother, John, let them talk about transport to it, and you want to know particularly how much.
Exactly.
If you're going with GUO, Sienna, from Lagos to Onitsha, it's 35,000 as of November. It's 35,100. If you're going with their ultra bus, highest ultra bus, it's 25,300. Now we are in December. Everything, Sienna has skyrocketed to 45,000.
Wow.
The same ultra bus has gone to 35,000.
Wow.
For those that are going from Lagos to East with a bag of rice, if it's a Nigerian rice, it's 7,000. After paying your transport fare. If it's a foreign rice, no negotiation, 10,000. How much are the salary of the people that are to pay? Most of us go to East during December for meetings and other things. Now, how do we go?
Wow.
How do we go?
It's okay.
And the senior president the other time was showing how physical fit he was, running over the stadium, celebrating his 61st birthday. Majority of the people in that stadium cannot afford 3 square meals, but then we are hailing him. May God save Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for calling. I appreciate you. I really want to appreciate you for that that information you gave us as we got traveling to the eastern part of Nigeria.
Very informative. Yeah.
45k, 35k.
How much did I board?
And today is what? Today is 16th. Sorry, 15th.
Yeah.
So before 25th, it will have been like 50k, 55.
Most likely. Because I remember maybe about a decade now, I ready to board airplane to Abuja around 20k, 15k.
No. It's not like that anymore.
I know.
Let's talk to this person.
I know.
Hello, good afternoon to you.
Jide.
Yes.
This me, C2 calling back from Freetown, Sierra Leone. I just want to remind you something.
Quickly, please.
We don't call here just want to call for God's sake. No, we call because the things that's bettered against us is the reason why you see our people laying their voice now, crying for the whole world to hear their voice. You see, let me tell you, I want you to go and make your research because I hate when people put lie against innocent people. First of all, go and make a research. Ask, why did Nnamdi Kanu being arrested today? What prompted him to be doing what he was doing? Are you aware that Nnamdi Kanu has a meeting with the southeastern governors? The southeastern governors, I'm saying it now so that people will know. He asked them, they said, okay, drop this agitation. Drop agitation. He asked them, okay, if you should drop this agitation, go and tell the Abuja, please, give me seaport. Our people has no seaport. Write this thing I'm telling you down. It's on record. You go to all these past, these eastern governors, the past old ones now. Ask them, this thing that I've said here, is it true? It's on record anyway. They can't deny it. Ask them, can you please open the seaport for our people? Remove soldiers, these soldiers that are shooting our people on the road. Then our school that is being dilapidated, could you fix it? Fix the road. Do you know all this thing is about 6 or 7 things he asked them to do in Southeast only so he can drop this agitation? Do you know what he did? The next thing they do, they plan Operation Python Dance. The Operation Python Dance that lead to the killing of his father, the trauma, and his mother. That's exactly what happened. Because we are telling you all this exactly why, what makes him to say that our people must be free in the hands of Nigeria. He did not wake up one day and said, oh, start championing of Biafra. No. There is something. Nnamdi Kanu was in the street of London preaching for the betterment of Nigeria. Are you aware? I can send you the video. I know they won't let you, MBA or whatever, I will let you. He was on the street of London, championing for the betterment of Nigeria. People will not tell you this thing, but let me tell you the reason why they can't release that gentleman. He's an Igbo man. You know, he's not supposed to be civil. He has never, Nnamdi Kanu committed no crime whatsoever. What he is championing is it's in the United Nations Charter, the right of the indigenous people. That is what he has never killed anybody. What you see today is happening in the South is the conspiracy of Nigerian government. We know what Samanepa, we know who is championing him, the people that he's working for. But I want to tell Samanepa, he's listening, that it's not Igbo people that you can put on the pocket. When the due time reach, we will hunt him in Finland. It's just a Finland. We are everywhere. We can travel from South Africa or anywhere to Finland, but it's not yet time. We know what he's doing in Southeast. We know the atrocity they're using him. We know. It's not that we don't know. So my brother, Nnamdi Kanu must be released. And if Nnamdi Kanu dies in the hands of Nigeria, one day, whoever that...
No, leave it there. Okay? Don't bring too much emotions into it. Dr. Adebayo has said is like work in progress for him. How did you say it again?
I will still say that it won't be much of a surprise to me if before the end of this year. Now, I'm not saying the category, but there will be a political solution. I know that one. There will be a political solution. From the judgments given in the court today, clear enough to tell the federal government that what you did was not right. That has set the tone for most likely further meetings. There will be conditions, no doubt about that. And concerning our brother that called from South Africa, look, except we want to be honestly extremists in our views. Even Hitler, who is considered today as one of the most evil leaders ever in his time, the Volkswagen that the world enjoyed, he established it. So Upholds is not very popular with many of his brothers, but that is not doing anything at all. No. As I've said, Hitler, as bad as Hitler's name is in today, nobody wants to bear whatever Hitler today. That's a name that has gone in tatters forever. Yet Volkswagen, one of the biggest cars in the world, car makers in the world, located in Wolfsburg, he established it. So what I'm saying is that a man is not entirely bad that he won't have one good thing telling him. That's just what I meant by saying that Hope has one or two things he's done.
Okay. Let's hope we see more, actually.
I like that. I saw you there. Let's hope. Let's hope.
From Imo State, right?
From hope.
Hello, good afternoon to you this afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Talk to us. 60 seconds.
This is Daryl calling from Morele.
Okay.
Long time, I miss your program so much.
Thank God you're here now.
Is it? Yes, I'm here, thank God. It's I love, let me say, journalist work, because even if they see the truth, they know it the way they will say it, they would like to, how do I put it? They will then just say the way you say we should be civil. So they will put it in a way that it's not going to cause any problem anyway. Let me just put it like that. And the man said, if you want to rate what Tinubu did after, maybe it is when he become president in Nigeria. Maybe, I don't know how he put it. Let me put it this way. The man has never done anything. We have 76 or 7 months now. From one problem to the other, from one wahala to the other, he has never done anything. That is one. That one is aside. So the other one is about Nnamdi Kanu. I don't know reason why they are not releasing the man, even up to now. I'm still surprised. By now, it's supposed to release the man. Let us know the next thing to do. In fact, Tinubu himself did a lot of things that I was so surprised about when he come and become a president in this country. I don't even think we can now even go through what we are going through now. I thought when as Tinubu come, it will at least what we go through during the Buhari period. I will put some things down that we're enjoying for some time before he now brings his own idea.
Okay. All right. Hello, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ijeoma.
Welcome.
Are you a guest?
Tony from Chicago, I guess.
Yes, this Tony from Chicago.
Welcome. Beautiful. Let's hear you.
Yes. So let me throw in the line of your guest as concerned Nnamdi Kanu. I believe I can borrow a leaf from what he said. It might be released through political arrangement. And I believe that is what is working. I believe Tinubu, if you want to work to get the favor of the Eastern people, he will use it as if he is the one that is Nnamdi Kanu, not the judiciary. He might use that one to get popularity, because I know Nnamdi Kanu is a symbol to Igbo man as of today. Everybody is crying. This young man. If Tinubu does that to the Eastern man, I think it might go a little way to ask a little bit of popularity in the Eastern people. Nnamdi Kanu release, and for the court to almost come on the head of the federal government means that something must be on pipeline. The government will not like to be disgraced. So I think I can put a leave from what your guest said about Nnamdi Kanu on that issue. That's what I'm trying to contribute. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Tony, for talking to us.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Yeah. All right. Hello, good afternoon to you this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jide. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes. I'm calling from Dakar, Senegal. My name is Inkem.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you. Jide, thank God for your guest over there. He's talking the truth. All of things have been saying, starting. I'm hearing it. He's talking the truth. But I want to tell you, Jide, I myself here in Dakar, Senegal, I believe Nigeria, but without restructuring Nigeria can never develop. Devolve of power, devolve the power all over the state. Let the state have the power, or the region. But I'm a follower of Nnamdi Kanu. Even today, the case today, I did not like it. But Jide, I'm telling you the truth. Nigeria can never work without restructuring. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you so very much. Restructuring, some are saying, is the answer to all of these things, right? Okay. Hello, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, my brother.
Your name?
My name is Ogochukwu. I am calling from Algeria.
All right. Welcome.
Yes, thank you. My brother, you see, I never wanted to call earlier on, but when the guest in the studio, please, good afternoon.
I greet you, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
But when your guest was there analyzing things about the Southeast, the only area I tend not to agree with him completely is that Upholds did anything. That name, Upholds is actually is a reminiscent of evil in the ear of any Igbo man.
No.
I am from Imo State.
You can't say that.
I am sorry then. It's okay. I am from Imo State. Uzodema is from Omoma. We used to be in the same Oru local government before it was shared into two, Oru East and Oru West. I'm from Widi, he is from Omoma. The governance is nothing we can talk about Imo State. Please, let me correct your guest about that, please. Whenever you are talking about the Upholds in the midst of where there are Igbos, don't ever speak such about Upholds. Other governors, we can manage them. And he is part of the people that has been going not having Nnamdi Kanu released. I know what I'm telling you. Then on the other side about Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa is an agent of the federal government, allegedly anyway. Let me use the word allegedly, but we know. Eventually we know. So and Simon Ekpa, if they had released Nnamdi Kanu today, the issue of Simon Ekpa would have died a natural cause instantly. Nobody would have heard about Simon Ekpa. But I don't know why, in the wiseness of this government, they have refused to take a path that would have changed a lot of things for the APC government in the eyes of the Igbos. If they were thinking good enough, they could have released Nnamdi Kanu today and have a very good positive pathway among the Igbos, even if we are going to condemn them, but it will not be minimal. So thank you, my brother.
Thank you so very much. He said, good afternoon, Julia, and our handsome guest in the studio. Well, our guest has spoken very well with great strength and enthusiasm. Keep it up. You're doing very well. As for Nnamdi Kanu, today's judgment for me is political. The federal government should learn to do the right thing at the right time and stop politicizing in every matter. Samuel Chijoke from Ikotun. We really have to go now. Several messages here. I can't read all of them.
I mean, from virtually the entire globe, from Algeria, from Chicago, and no, you must be doing something right, really.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much. Your parting shot now.
Well, I want Nigeria to be this is the largest concentration of black people on earth. We can always settle our differences. I still maintain in no time Mazen and Kanu will be free. In no time. There may be conditions attached to it. And also, let's all keep the positive vibe. For people to call from all over the world shows that they see we express our disappointment because we feel Nigeria should be better than what it is, not because we hate Nigeria. And let us maintain the vibe. Thank you very much. I'm so impressed. I've heard about you, but now I can see that truly you are Jude, it can be Jude, and you've kept it civil.
Thank you so much. Dr. Moses Adebayo, I want to appreciate you so much for coming on the show today.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really.
And for me, my name is Jude, Ikami Jude. On social media, I am Ikami Jude, IKAMIJUDEH, one word. I love you so much and do have a beautiful Friday, beautiful weekend. I'll see you next week. Good afternoon.
Dear valued listeners, we believe in free speech, but with freedom comes responsibility. We'd like to remind you to be mindful of the power of your words and the impact they can have on others. As members of Voice of the People community, it's crucial that we foster an environment of respect, empathy, and understanding. As we lead healthy discussions and diverse opinions, it is important to ensure that these opinions are backed by facts and grounded in truth. Slanderous statements and baseless accusations not only harm individuals but also undermine the very fabric of our community. So, how do you contribute to a more responsible and informed dialogue? 1. Fact check before you speak. Take the time to verify the information you intend to share. 2. Respectful language. Choose your words thoughtfully and avoid derogatory or offensive language. 3. Encourage healthy debate. Embrace the opportunity to engage in constructive conversations. 4. Lead by example. As a listener, you have a powerful voice. Thank you for joining us today. Together, let's make a difference by embracing factual dialogue and promoting respect in our conversations. As always, we value your opinions and encourage you to call in and share your thoughts responsibly. To be part of the conversation, the number to call is 0700 903 903 903. Again, 0700 903 903 903. You may send your WhatsApp messages to 0700 903 9039. Always remember, words have power. Use them wisely.
Attention! VOP 90.3 FM family, mark your calendar. On December the 16th, 2023, we are throwing the biggest dinner party just for you. Top fans will be picked from each of our programs, so stay tuned for the selection process. Join us for the end of the year fan appreciation and recognition party. It's the celebration of you, our fantastic listeners who've made VOP the heartbeat of the airwaves. Save the date! December the 16th, 2023. Time is 4 p.m. Venue, Airport Golden Tulip Essential Hotel. This is a party you don't want to miss. Tell your friends, your family, and join us for an unforgettable night of appreciation and fun. VOP 90.3 FM, where the beats meet the gratitude. I'm unavailable.
You are fantastic listeners who have made VOP the heartbeat of the airwaves. On December 16, 2023, we are throwing the biggest dinner party just for you. Join us for the end of year fun appreciation and recognition party.